By the time the afternoon rolled around, I was halfway through a spreadsheet and already feeling like my brain was moving through molasses. Lunch had been nothing more than a half-hearted snack I grabbed from the vending machine. Some stale crackers and a fruit cup that I barely touched, but somehow, my stomach still complained like I'd skipped it entirely. I realized I'd been staring at the same cell in that spreadsheet for 10 minutes, thinking I was working, when really I was just existing. My coworker, Mike, came by to chat, and I smiled and nodded like I had energy for small talk. He launched into his weekend plans, describing his hike with way too much detail about which trail was harder and which snacks were better. I listened, technically, but my mind drifted to a dozen little things. A sink that wouldn't drain properly at home, the email I still needed to send, a text from my friend that I'd been meaning to reply to but kept postponing. I felt that familiar tug of guilt for not being on top of everything. And yet, at the same time, I wanted nothing more than to hide under my desk, and in a PBY mid-afternoon, the office felt heavier. The fluorescent lights buzzed just a little louder, the hum of computers was almost oppressive, and every time someone walked by, I noticed them more than I wanted to. I tried to immerse myself in work, double-checking reports, replying to messages, pretending productivity was happening, but inside, I felt like a hamster on a wheel. Constant motion, no progress, just enduring. Around 4:30, I got an alert about a small work deadline I'd forgotten entirely. My stomach dropped. I had less than an hour to wrap something up that required more mental energy than I had left. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, stiff and unsure, and I realized that this was one of those moments where being an adult feels more like improvising than anything else. Somehow, I got it done, sent it off, and leaned back in my chair, exhaling like I just climbed a mountain. And yet, there was no celebration, just the faint relief that this one tiny crisis was over. Finally, the end of the workday came, though not with a bang or a satisfying conclusion. Just a slow, quiet sliding out of chairs, a few see you tomorrows, and the soft shuffle of people leaving the office. I grabbed my bag and walked out into the crisp air, feeling both tired and strangely free. The city felt different at that hour. People rushing home, streetlights flickering on, the smell of food from the corner cafe mixing with exhaust. It was ordinary, but there was a calm in it, a rhythm that felt almost grounding. I walked home thinking about dinner, thinking about messages I needed to send, thinking about how I should probably do laundry, maybe clean the bathroom, but also knowing I'd probably just sink onto the couch and scroll endlessly for a while. There's something strangely comforting in the predictability of this kind of evening, the kind that feels small, manageable, and perfectly mundane. By the time I got home, I realized that some days are nothing more than surviving the in-between moments, the morning struggle, the slow afternoons, the quiet evenings, and that somehow that's enough. Not heroic, not exciting, just enough to keep going.